Hello, everyone. Welcome to a chakra yin flow class for the root chakra and the sacral chakra. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a mixed class, a little bit of a mixed flow. The first part of class will be a beginner-friendly, slow flow with some sun salutations. And then the second part of class will be more yin oriented. We'll be holding our poses for a couple of minutes each. And at the later half of class, that's when we'll be focusing more on the hips and the lower body, the parts of our body that are associated with the root chakra and the sacral chakra. And our theme today is kind of overcoming resistance and opening ourselves up to the flows of life. Life kind of tends to ebb and flow and twist and turn and change. And when we are resistant to those things, sometimes we can adapt these self-destructive behaviors. And we also tend to hold resistance in our root chakra, especially if the root chakra is overactive. If you have a lot of energy here, you might find yourself feeling pretty stubborn, pretty resistant to any changes in your life, any flows that naturally come with life. You may find yourself shying away from them and doing things your own way, even if your own way doesn't quite make sense or doesn't quite fit your life anymore. And by being kind of closed off in the root chakra area, we are also, in essence, kind of closed off and blocked in the sacral chakra as well. The root chakra is all about being grounded, but we can be a little too grounded. And the sacral chakra is more about being open to creativity and open to our own self-expression and open to expressing ourselves to other people in an authentic way and building healthy relationships. So if there is some resistance in your root chakra and then resistance in your sacral chakra, this class is all about opening up those areas, allowing energy to flow and to balance out. So hopefully this will be a class for you that will help you to kind of move with the flow of life a little bit more. Because by practicing this on our mat, we can also take that on a larger scale out into our life later on. So that's what this class is for. That's my intention for you tonight. We will not need any props necessarily, but if you would like a blanket to hide your knees, feel free to grab that. Feel free to grab blocks or anything else that would support you in your practice tonight. We're going to begin by coming down into Sphinx pose. Come onto your belly, and you can prop yourself up with your elbows, letting your forearms come down, and then draw your chest forward. And I invite you to close your eyes for the next few moments and let yourself reorient and readjust into a new frame of mind for the next 45 minutes to an hour. Come into a space that is calm and clear, allowing your mind to be fully present, not only in this moment, but fully present with everything that your body is feeling and experiencing. Taking a deep inhale through your nose and draw that breath down into your belly. And then release the breath with a sigh. Breathing in again, one more deep breath. Exhaling with a sigh. Letting go of your day. Settling into the next hour or so to be completely focused on your own self-care. Take a few more mindful breaths. We'll set the collective intention to resist any resistance that we might be carrying either in our minds, our bodies, or our spirits. And to bring in and cultivate, in place of that resistance, a sense of ease, a sense of flow. Inhale again. And exhale, you can bring your head down, moving the elbows to the side. Slide the hands back. And then with your inhale, press up through hands and knees. And then take your knees about as wide as your mat, toes come together, sink down into wide-legged Balasana. Feeling your intention resonate in your heart space. And taking a few more deep breaths, letting yourself ground down into your mat. With your next breath, you can move your hands over to the right, coming into a lateral stretch, taking the left hand on top of your right hand. Breathing in and out deeply into the left side of your body here. Breathe in, move your hands back through center, and then over to the left side. Right hand comes on top. Slowly move your hands back through center, back to Balasana. And then walk your fingertips forward, maybe a couple centimeters, couple of inches. Let your upper back get a good stretch. Inhale, head lifts up. Pull your body forward back to tabletop position. And then extend your right leg behind you. Let your heel press back and forth. And then come forward, lift up your right leg. Maybe you're hovering your toes an inch or two. Maybe you take it up further, but keep your right hip in line with your left hip. Very good. Breathe out, release your knee back down, and then extend your left leg, moving the heel, stretching the calf. Coming forward, breathing in, lifting up the left leg. Keeping the toes pointed down towards the floor. Keeping the shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, left knee comes down. Inhale, pull the chest forward, roll the shoulders back, lift up your chin, come into cow pose. And pause here for just a moment. Feel yourself get some openness across your chest, down your belly. Keeping a soft bend in your elbows. One more breath here. And exhale, push the floor away from you and curl your spine. Let your chin tuck towards your chest. Pause here in cat pose. Let your head hang down. And slowly breathe in. We're going to move through slow motion through cat and cow, taking slow inhales and exhales as we do. And feel free to move with your own breath. And I invite you to notice everything that you feel and every inch of movement as you breathe and as you flow in and out through these two poses. Cat and cow is really good to do for all of your chakras, not just your root and sacral chakra, or even your heart chakra, because it moves the whole back as well as the head and the neck. So all of your chakras are getting some energy flow through these movements. Take an inhale and let your spine come to a neutral place. And then let your right fingertips spin back towards your body. And it's okay if they don't turn all the way around. You can turn them off to the side or any place that feels okay for you. Allow your palm to press down wherever it's at. Take a few breaths into your wrist and into your forearm. We actually have two lesser known chakras on the palms of our hands, as well as one that's a little bit closer to the earth and out in front of the body. But these are not as well known as the ones that go all the way up the spine into the crown of the head. Nevertheless, they're still good to utilize, good to remember. You can take your right fingertips forward, let your wrist take a few circles, take the right hand down, and then left fingertips come back, take a few breaths here. Very good. Spin your left fingertips forward. Take a few wrist circles. And then we're going to walk the hands forward. Prepare for downward facing dog by tucking the toes. And then lift up and back. Use your exhale to press your hips high. We're working our way slowly and with gentleness and compassion for ourselves through any resistance that we might have to doing this asana practice. We are starting slow. We're paying attention to what's going on in our bodies, what's going on with our breath. And then we are working our way compassionately into a practice that will help us get even deeper into letting go of resistance. Inhale up onto the toes. Let your knees bend, look forward, and then step up to the front of your mat. Let your feet come hip width apart. Press all of your toes down, spreading them out. Pressing each toe down, and then inhale, take the hands on the shins, halfway lift up your body. And exhale, slowly hinge forward, let your hips tilt forward, let your knees bend softly, let your head relax, your arms relax. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Come through Tadasana. Let your spine extend nice and long. Let your hands open out in front of you. Let your shoulders drop. You find a subtle lift of your chest here, a subtle tucking in of your lower belly. Although this is a simple pose in yoga, it's still a very active pose for the body. We are actively pressing the feet down and actively elongating the spine. Take an inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. Let your gaze lift towards your hands. And then exhale, draw your hands down to your heart. Beautiful. Inhale, reach up, and as you do, reach back towards the back of your room just a bit, coming into a small back bend. Slowly come forward, and with your exhale, hinge back down to forward fold. Bring the hands in front of the feet. Inhale up onto the tips of the fingers. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands down, fingers spread wide, step back with one foot and then the other. Come to a plank position. Strong plank. Inhale here. Exhale down to the belly. Untuck your toes, slide your hands back. Inhale up to Bhujangasana. You can come up high, you can stay down low. But let your heart shine forward here. Let your legs press down. And exhale. We are going to tuck the toes and then slowly hinge the hips back, bending the knees. Then lift the knees up, press the hips back to downward dog. Inhale up onto your toes, bend your knees. Take small steps up to the front of the mats. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing, this time sweeping the arms all the way up. Once you get there, lifting your eyes. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, hands in front of the feet. Come up to the fingertips. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step back with your left foot. Plant your left heel down. Let your toes turn out towards the left. Prepare for warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Find Virabhadrasana one. Take your hands to your hips. Pull your left hip forward so that it squares with your right hip. And once you're here, find some elongation of your spine. Let your heart extend. Let your belly tuck in. Lift your arms up. Reaching with the arms, not locking the elbows, keeping the shoulders plugged down towards their sockets. Take an inhale here. And inhale, look up towards your hands as you press down with your feet. Beautiful. Exhale, bring your gaze to neutral. Bring your hands down to frame your right foot. Step your left leg up to the front of the mat and inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands in front of the feet. Elongating the spine. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step back with the right foot. Plant the right heel down. Press the feet down. Inhale, rise up, squaring the hips, tucking the belly, lifting the arms. Virabhadrasana one. Check in with your left knee, align it with your second and your third toe. Press the knife edge of the right foot down. And if and when you are ready, you can inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, bring the gaze down. Bring the hands down to frame the left foot. Step the right foot up to the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, begin to roll up, and as you do, bend your knees, let your hips sink down like you're sitting in a chair. Reach your arms up. Utkatasana. Only a few breaths here. And exhale, fold down through prayer, forward fold. Shake out your head, shaking it back and forth, up and down. You can take your hands here and either grab onto your calves, your ankles, or you can take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Taking an inhale wherever you are, holding your bind. Inhale, elongate your spine. Feeling that resistance once you elongate your spine, you're being tethered to your legs, to your feet here. Take a few breaths. And exhale, let that resistance go. Let your spine relax. Come back to forward fold. Feeling the body relax. And once more, with your bind, inhale, Extend your back like you're halfway lifting, feeling that resistance in your body as you extend your back and keep your hands planted where they are. Making sure the knees have a soft bend here. Feeling that resistance build in the body, and whenever you're ready, let your exhale completely relax your upper body. Fold down. You can stay wherever you are, or you can bend your knees enough to slide your palms underneath your feet. Feel free to keep a generous bend in your knees if you would like to, if you need to. Let your upper body come down. Let your head relax. Deep breaths into the back body, into the legs. And exhale, slide the palms out from underneath the feet. Inhale, up to the tips of the fingers. Exhale, plant the hands. Inhale, plank. Exhale, belly. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck the toes. Shift the hips back, bend the knees. Lift up and back, downward dog. Take 3 breaths in your downward dog. And with your next exhale, slowly drop your knees down to your mats and then bring your legs out in front of you. Take your right calf, stack it on top of your left, let your feet flex. And feel free to use a block underneath your right knee. The right knee may not come all the way down, but the block underneath the knee can support your bones. Take an inhale where you are. Let your back become nice and long. And notice your right hip. Notice how it's feeling, not judging it, just observing. If you are feeling some resistance in your right hip, you can stay with your spine elongated for as long as you need to until your body invites you to go further, if it invites you to go further. We are moving into the yin portion of our class. And in yin, we're not pushing our bodies to do something that they're uncomfortable with. We are meeting our bodies where they're at. We are coming up against that wall of resistance and we are standing next to it. We are accepting it for whatever it is. If you are wanting to go further, if you're not feeling resistance in your right hip, you can slowly come down and see where your body starts to resist. And wherever that point is, you can stop. You can take some blocks underneath your forearms. And pause. Take some deep and mindful breaths. Notice as you are holding this pose, notice what's happening in your body. Stay present with whatever it is that's happening with your body. Stay present with everything that you're feeling. Also notice the thoughts that are coming into your head. It's okay if there are thoughts that are coming to distract you or take your mind off of your mat. That is completely normal. But I invite you to notice those thoughts and notice if they're serving as a distraction to what's really going on with your body. And then I invite you to bring your awareness back to this pose, to your hips, to whatever it is that you are experiencing, and be present with that experience. Inhale. Begin to come up if you were lower down. And then you can switch sides. Take your right leg down, left calf over the right. And come back to noticing your hip. This time focusing on the left hip. Observing how it's feeling in this pose now. And taking the option, if it serves your body, to fold down and find the place where you first encounter resistance in your hip. And relax there. Come back to the breath. Breathe in, begin to come back up from wherever you are. You can move your block towards the front of your mat if you're using blocks today. And we're going to bring our legs out behind us, coming to all fours. And then we're going to take the right foot, step it forward, scoot it up to the right, the outside of the right hand, and then scoot your left leg back. Coming into lizard pose. If this is too intense right now, you can come up onto your blocks and see how you feel here. Let your hips press forward. You can untuck those back toes and either stay here until your body invites you to go further, or you can experiment with calming down. And pausing wherever you first encounter resistance. And let yourself settle into the place where you're at. Let your head relax. Let your breath go down into your belly. Noticing what's happening in your body and your mind in this pose. Take about 3 to 4 more deep breaths in this pose. We will not be holding this pose or the next pose for as long as we did our seated pose. These next few poses tend to be intense for the knees, although they are really good for the legs and the hips. So we will be mindful of being too hard on our knees today. Take an inhale. If you're lowered, come back up to your hands and then scoot your right foot towards the center of your mat, taking both hands on either side of the right foot. We're then going to begin to walk back with our hands, hinging the hips towards the left heel, straightening out the right leg. If you've got blocks, you can walk your blocks back with you for some support, and then let your hips come down towards your heel. Let your right leg straighten out in front. Let your toes point up towards the ceiling. And again, feel free to stay here, or even if your hips don't come all the way back to your heels, let yourself stay wherever it is that you were encountering resistance. If you are not encountering any yet, you can fold forward and then take a pause wherever you need to. Very good. Inhale, come up from where you are. Walk your hands forward, rebend your right knee. And you can take your hands down, bring the right knee back, coming to tabletop. And then if you need to move your hips, if you need to move your back, if you need to press your heels back and forth again, feel free to move in whatever way that you need to. And when you're ready, we'll step the left foot forward to the outside of the left hand, scooting the right leg back. Using the blocks if you would like. And finding a place where you can be comfortable for the next couple of minutes or so. Inhale, come back up to your hands. And exhale, begin to walk your hands back, coming to a seated half split. So with the left leg in front, staying lifted or folding forward any amount that is comfortable for you. Inhale, come up. Walk the hands forward, rebend the left knee. You can step the left foot back, coming to tabletop, and then bring both legs to the side and out in front of you. We'll make our way down onto our backs. You can bring your knees in towards your chest once you get down onto your back. Maybe find a rock back and forth. And as you are ready, you can pause, find happy baby. With your next breath out, you can release your feet and make yourself comfortable for Shavasana. Let your palms face up towards your ceiling. Let your feet come a little bit wider, maybe about as wide as your mat. Let your eyes close, taking in a deep inhale through your nose. Exhaling through the mouth, letting go of any residual tension in your body. And once more, deep inhale. Audible exhale. Let your mind find a soft focus on your breath, on each of your inhales and each of your exhales. Inhale, drawing in a deep breath. Exhaling fully. Begin to find small movements, moving toes and fingers. Moving on to your side. And pressing up to a seat whenever you feel ready. When you are seated, you can take your hands together in front of your heart. Let your thumbs lightly touch your chest. Bring back into your mind our collective intention to release any resistance from our bodies, our minds, and our spirits, and to cultivate in its place a sense of ease and a sense of flow. Feel free to carry this intention with you and work with it further. You can let it go with love and with gratitude for all it's done to serve you during your practice tonight. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful evening, a beautiful weekend. Sat Nam. And I will either see you all next week, or if you are coming to our self-care workshop on Saturday. It's an online event. There's a link on our website for it. Then I will see you all then. Have a good evening.